Welcome back, everyone. I am going to be lucky if I'm able to complete this project at all. I've had all sorts of hiccups already and didn't bother filming because I was kind of practicing, figuring out how the table works. So I have one block that looked pretty decent, had everything that I needed, and then I realized these should be slanted. I even wrote it down in my on my template that there's supposed to be a 19-degree angle, according to Chicken, the the guy that I got this idea from, Chicken's Tabletop Crafting, and so these are supposed to be a 19-degree angle, and this whole side is supposed to be slanted, and I don't think it's big enough for that. Also, I'm a little bit irritated at how much of a gap there is between these sheets. I think maybe when you spray the adhesive and add heat, it starts to melt in between the two, so it defeats the whole purpose. And it's, as far as I can tell, it's impossible to get a block. Anything thicker than just the thin sheets is just like not available anywhere. So if you want to use this XPS foam, I'll use it for future projects. You want to do it for something that you're going to cover up and coat. I thought I might do that with this dry decks or paper mache. I've done that with other projects, and that's okay when you want something rocky and bumpy. I want this to be as smooth as possible. So I went back and watched Chicken's help me out, everyone. Chicken's Tabletop Crafting, and I think he just used regular old styrofoam for this project, which I'd never really thought of for this because you think of styrofoam as crumbly like breadcrumbs. But I'm using it with this Hercules 8500 tabletop foam hot wire cutter, and I needed a little bit of a guide with this piece of wood that I have here, and that actually worked pretty well to help me get like a cut at just the right size. I'm having trouble like figuring out how to get the size of things that I want without just adding something in place, and then it's got to be smooth enough for you to like slide it. So that's been tricky, but that worked all right, and I have a pretty smooth block of styrofoam, and it's a good shape. It's actually just a bit short of where I needed it to be for those sort of overhanging parts of this, but I thought I could build those separately and glue it on. But I did practice. I tinkered with the angles, so I feel like I can do that. It'll probably be a few more tries, and I'll go through a bunch more materials. But I am able to cut it at an angle, and that's because you can slide this slider, that's what it's called, down to about the degree that you want, and then when you make your cut, it'll do that for you. The hard part is like knowing exactly where to put your piece to cut it, because the material that you're cutting has to be at the angle so that when you look at it, it's like the right way. And I don't have the type of brain really that's like really easily figures that out. So that's why it's taking a lot of trial and error. But anyways, I'm gonna glue the extra piece on later, the two sides of this, and I want to try to do the angle cuts again because I think the sides of this should be angular like this too. Is this light too bright? Let's see. Let me just find the switch. There we go. Is that better brightness? Anyways, so I'm gonna try to angle cut this so it looks more like the shape of the bunker, and then I was doing this test on this, so to cut the inside out so that you can use it for Star Wars Legion or whatever, you can use this for Warcraft or anything that you have terrain. But in any case, you cut a slice out through the middle, and then you cut out a rectangle there, and you could do that about a centimeter and a half from the sides. This XPS foam's pretty tough. I don't know if I have to leave more space for styrofoam or what. Haven't really worked with it, but so yeah. So now let's Let me try the angle cut here. I'm just going to loosen this up here and adjust it to approximate angle that I would like it to be at. Oh, I've also noticed when on occasion, after using this for a few minutes, the wire starts to wobble. So you have to tighten this wire a lot, just so that you know. I was not getting straight lines for a really long time, and I was going through a lot of XPS foam because I was like, why isn't this straight? And then I slowed down and took a look at the wire, and I noticed it was wobbling. And I thought maybe it was because I had a fan on in here, but then I did it without the fan on, and it was still wobbling. So I think just after a few uses, the wire just kind of wobbles and loosens up. But let me see if I can get this to the right angle. There we go. It seems like about 19 degrees. Just trying to figure out which way is tighten this. Righty tighty. That's the left on this side. Doesn't seem to be getting tighter. Okay, there we go. Okay, it's tight. It's about 19 degrees. And if I slice the outside at 19 degrees, then I do the inside slices at 19 degrees. Then I have to put this back on top and slice it that way on both sides. So that should work. So that just means I need the guide on this side. Oh, let's see. So, let's say this is the front. Maybe I should make a mark or something for that. Anyways, let's say this is the front. The only thing I was really worried about with the styrofoam is, well, two things. One, how well does the wire cutter cut it? And it seems to be good, very good. And the other thing I was worried about was paint. You know, I don't want it to be porous, but I think if I cover it in gesso or something before I paint it, it shouldn't be that big of a deal. All right. Or if I need to, I could use this stuff. I got it for such occasions, but I've never used this before, so I'm hesitating to use this dry deck stuff. Okay, so let's see. So I want to cut this at an angle. What I want is the front sides to be sliced at an angle at just the right spot. And then I want the entire thing to have an angle. Let's see. So if it goes like this, if the angle is, let's see. I'm trying to grab my protractor here. Okay. If the angle is 19 degrees, oh boy, anybody remember how protractors work? I want the angle to go this way. Then I have to get a dot somehow going this way. Okay, let's try that. No, that doesn't look right. Let's see. That's like too severe of an angle, I think, if I do that. I think I'm doing that wrong. Let's see. Oh, nuts. How about I make an arbitrary mark and cut it the same way all the way around, and then it doesn't matter if it's actually 19 degrees. There we go. So I have to do it exactly the same amount. So how many centimeters in is that? Using centimeters because that chicken crafting is German. Did his in centimeters. Okay. Looks like there's about one. Oops, this is not the centimeter marker. Okay, we'll do it in American. It's 1/2 inch in, and then to the corner. This is totally good. Not worried about this measurement at all. What did I say, 1/2 inch? Let's see. Do it all the way around. That'll be fine. That's not bad. It'll be fine. Totally fine. Okay, and so if I wanted to do that, then I could, I think, like run this, let's say, run this way. It's about that angle. Oh yeah, obviously the wire is going to dictate what angle it's at, and if I keep the wire at the exact same spot, it doesn't even matter what my measurement it is. But here's the thing. Here's the part I'm bad at. How do I get, like, this is totally lined up exactly how I want it to be. But there's a lot of space between this doohickey. Let's see. Oh, can I do that? Oh, that seems like a pretty good way to do it. Okay, so I have that right at the corner. And I pull it down, and it'll be guided by this guide. With guides. Okay. Make sure I have all that lined up properly. I think I got this. This will be good. Looks like a nice angle. Hopefully that's, I feel like that's a little severe of an angle. It's going to be kind of a small opening for the play area. I'm going to see if I can loosen this without the wire getting all wobbly. Oops. That's the wrong thing to loosen. Let's go down to 15 degrees on the top guide. Wire is now loose. Make sure everything's turned off and unplugged. Lift it up, tighten this again. Use pliers to grab the wire. Okay. Grab the wire with the plier, theoretically. Okay. Loosen the canut, pull, tighten. Okay. Okay, that's good. A little bit less of a severe angle to get a little more play area there. And if I want that to match up with this, then this has to be over here, pretty close to my line. Yeah, that's like lines up right where I drew it. I knew it would happen like this. I was just testing you. Okay. So let's see. It's not on right now, so it's okay if I push it a little bit to line it up to just the right spot. Tighten the knobs. Alright. The trick is pushing against this. Keeping it on the guide. It's a little bit off of the corner down there, but I think that's okay. It'll still look good. Hopefully I can get it to do the exact same thing on the other side. Okay, I'm sure it's fine. Let's go for it. So, worst that can happen is you lose some styrofoam. And your fingers, so be careful with those two. Okay. I've noticed it helps kind of if you hold the guide a little bit. Put the foot on the pedal to the metal. Pull down confidently and straight. Woo! Yeah, that's a pretty decent line. Not bad. I'm waving it around in front of the where I assume the camera to be. You probably can't even tell. But it's pretty good. Not bad. The styrofoam's working out all right so far. At least it looks decent. Okay. Now the miracle will be if I can do this again for the other side. Okay, I drew that line over there. It's got to be facing the same way. Maybe I'll just have to draw it on this side. And then, yeah, that's probably the smart way. Hey, I don't have to draw it. I don't have to draw it. It's good. Because it's the same wire. It doesn't look like the wire's wobbly, right? Maybe a touch. I feel like it just loosened. So caution to the wind. YOLO! Alright. Yeah. That's good. That's good. I think you'd look at that and think that's pretty even. Yeah, I think that looks nice. That kind of looks like the bunker shape, actually. Wow. This one a lot better than the XPS foam that I was testing. But, you know, we're far from finished. Still have to cut a hole in the middle and then put a top on. All that. Let's see. So to cut the hole in the middle, let me draw the shape here. I'm going to pause it while I draw. All right, I drew a square about half an inch from all sides, all the way around. And forget centimeters. Wow. You know, I told you I'd be lucky if I can complete this sort of thing. Hence the name of my channel. Let's see. Oh, I want to straighten this out because I have this slanty. Should remember that was just before the 15 degrees mark. So that I do the same thing when I do the inside cuts. Worried about that now. I'm going to do a cut in the middle and cut the center section out so that this can be playable. Oh yeah, it'll straighten this out. Okay, so this goes basically as far as it can go so that it's straight. Actually a little bit, I think I'm going to have to tighten the wire again. I must say that's a little bit irritating. A lot bit irritating. It's not hard to do, but it's irritating. Sure, it's physics and nobody can do anything about it, but still. Super physics. Alright, so let's see. Got this tightened. Wires lined up straight, but wobbly. So I'm gonna got everything turned off. Flip this over again. Grab my plier. Grab the wire. Loosen the canute. Pulling it pretty tight here. Tightening the nut. Bolt. Whatever. Okay. It all seems good. Little tone when I bang it. Notice I did not use my finger to pluck it. Okay. So, let's see. Let me do some cutting. Put my goggles back on. And my mask. The mask, mouth mask, breathing mask first, then the goggles. Okay. Okay. On. Let's see if I can. Oh, I need a guide here. Where did I put the guide? Ah, okay. Oh, sorry. To me, I just apologize to myself. Okay. Let's see. So I want to get the line to go here. So I need the guide to go this way to push it. This to be the other way. Loosen all these. Oh, wait, it needs to be this way. And I can push it up. Okay. Really not good with getting this guide lined up properly. It's gonna take practice. Alright. I have to loosen this so I can push it up. So my camera stands in the way. I'll move that here. Let's see what that did to my camera. That's fine. You just get more of my feet here. Alright. So then I loosen this one and I should be able to push it up when the wire's hot. But it's not really keeping it straight left to right. I think I'm doing this wrong. I think I needed this to be this way. But here's the problem then. It's not the right thing, right width over. I wish I had a better thing to do this. There are other tools like Dremel you can get for this. I'm wondering, I'm gonna be able to slide this up, get right through the middle. Maybe I was better doing it the other way. Or this way? So this is going to keep it straight up and down, but it could still slide left or right, which would be a problem for me. I think this is the way to go. Let me get a couple more pieces of extra XPS here. Oops. It's off a second. The XPS isn't straight, then the thing won't be straight. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Try this piece here. Just to be coincidentally the exact right size. I think it is. Let's do that. I think I got it. Alright. Back on. Alright, that's my first cut there. Then I have to rotate it and go this way. Cut a pretty wide swath there. I think that's the styrofoam. It doesn't cut as, melts it more. So now I need to go up or down with it here. Why am I so bad with the guide stuff? Okay, this looks like a way that I could do it. That's about perfect. Oh, come on. Working in the garage, how many closets? Okay, now that I have both scolded and apologized to my wife, I'm going to move on. Oh, maybe if I turn the temperature down a little, it won't melt as much, this styrofoam. Try that. You should probably not experiment while you're in the middle of doing a project, especially when it's actually going well for once. But I'm experimenting with the temperature. Let's see how this goes. This is not right where I need it to be. doing alright though. Not quite on the line. Still melting a lot. Maybe I actually made the temperature hotter. Oh no, the guide wasn't stable. What the heck, guide? I didn't tighten it. Okay, not a big deal. Right. Yeah, I guess I didn't tighten the guide before I started using it there. Rookie mistake. Sometimes if you notice your material getting stuck in the wire, you just have to kind of wiggle it and maybe hit the on-off switch real quick and it'll just melt its way out. But alright, well I got a line there, and I think that actually made it hotter. Let me try to turn it the other direction, see if it cools that wire down a bit so it doesn't melt as much. It isn't a big deal because that's all going to be gone, but not as straight of a line as I'd like. Okay. Speaking of straight lines, I can never do this stuff right here. How does that make you feel to hear that sound? It's like a Hitchcock movie or something. Alright, let's see. So I wish that I could take this guide and push it forward this way. And people who are better at this probably know how to do something like that. Alright, let's see. All this up here. This way. How do I do that? You know, like, how do I get the guide to be... Ah! Oh, look at that! Look at that! I figured that out, I think. Okay, so I'm lining this up at the line on the 30 there, tightening it this time. Let's see. Yeah. Make sure that the wire's where I want it to be. Make sure that it be a little bit higher up. I'm going to go in a touch with this wire. Okay. That foot pedal is a thing of beauty. And it's not literally beautiful, but it really is helpful. Okay, make sure I've got this lined up straight. It's easy to tell if the guide is straight up here by the lines, but over on the right side where there are no lines, it's harder to tell if the guide is straight. YOLO. This is a new phrase all the kids are using. Okay. And for the record, it's melting it a lot less when I went down to 2. So hotter is higher number. I don't know why I thought it was reverse. Alright. It's good. Make progress. Let me switch the guide again. This way. The problem is guide now isn't to the right enough. As I mentioned, I'm bad with the guide. Maybe this way. Okay. I think I got it now. Okay, make sure it's straight and in the spot I want it to be. All right. Let's see if this happens and this puppy gets up to 88. Okay. Got to remember to lean on the guide too and not just eyeball it. Okay. There we go. All right. Pretty happy with this progress here. How do I get it to do this again? Oh yeah, this way. Okay. I gotta loosen it so I can move it, right? Okay. But keep these two tight, one in the middle moves it. Okay. I do like to move it. Move it. Okay, here we go. Oh no! I'm eyeballing it at this point. I didn't do the guide quite right. Alright. So we can maze run this out of there. Alright, woohoo! Alright, that's pretty good. That looks like a bunker. Feels weird that it's in styrofoam. I don't know why I think XPS is so much more reputable. I guess because, you know, it's like, ooh, fancy, and anybody can get styrofoam out of their box of Doritos that got shipped from Amazon. They probably don't put styrofoam in there. Anyways, this is great. I'm happy with this. Next, I need a top for it. And, I forgot. I've got to do the slanty lines here, 90-degree angles. Let's see if I can do that. "15-degree angles." Let's see. Oh, oops! I loosened up the wire. Oh, I can't believe I did that again. Probably good to loosen it, right? Because this will be tightening when I go this way. Make sure this thing's off. There we go. Okay. 15. Make sure the wire is tight. Very beautiful. Okay. Now let's see if I can do the guide right to these cuts in here. How far in should they be? Let's see. So each of these is about 2.5 inches. So I think I'll do 1.5 arbitrarily as the spot for the. But, you know, maybe I should just do it, and that'll determine where it is, right? No, I should try to mark it. Okay. Let's see. Half. Just think that'll look nice. And yeah, okay. So this one, let's see if I can rotate this again. Yeah, how do I do this? It needs a guide on this side guide. The top guide. Huh. Alright, let's see if I can do it this way. Yeah, that'll do it for one of them. Let's see. Goes nothing. Not bad. Not bad at all. I gotta somehow do that to the other side. Let's see. Let's see, okay. So I want this to be like that. Should I just wing it? Famous last words, right? I don't know how else to do this. So I could do the thing where I try to jam some stuff in between it. So don't go between them. Okay. A block of wood. Is that good wood? Respect wood. Geez, even the wood isn't thick enough. This guy in there. I'm sure this will be fine. Oh yeah, there's no way this could go wrong. Alright, where am I? Got that there, got this there. Just have to slide this down. No problem. Hit the foot pedal to the middle. YOLO! Alright. Success! 1.21 gigawatts. Wow. Wish I would have just started from the first place. This thing's worked out really well. The thing is, it's flimsy. Like if I were to give this to someone and say, hey, I'm gonna use this for some cool Star Wars terrain, they'd be like, that's a piece of junk. Hopefully, when I'm through with it, it will at least not look like junk. We're a long ways away from that. But anyways, I got the shapes. I mean, this is exactly what one would want from the shape of this bunker. All right. Next, I've got to build a top for it and put on some accoutrement. This is great. I mean, this is like it. This is like the rest of it should be easy, right? I'm gonna do that cool thing that people who know what they're doing do, where they like have a piece of something that fits like in it, and then there's the roof. So when you take the roof off, there's like the inset thing that like sits in there nice and snug. I'm gonna try to do that, but we'll do that another time. Thank you all for watching, and